Hello there lovely people, it's Alex from Nintendo Life here, and last week I asked you lot what features you think caused The Legend of Zelda Wii U to be delayed. Here's just what a few of you thought. David Cioni reckons that the world seemed too empty, and as such they had to fill up the world with things like dungeons and mini-bosses and things like that to try and make it feel like a more sort of living, breathing world rather than a barren landscape. I can seriously get behind this. I reckon this was probably the single biggest issue that they had, because they created this huge world and had all these fantastic ideas. But if it's going to be that big, it's got to have stuff in it. It can't just be empty, otherwise it is literally a waste of space. Covert Commander reckons that we might be getting some more immersion-style gameplay, like the Assassin's Creed parkour or something, because we haven't seen too much of that in Zelda. We got a bit of it in Skyward Sword, actually, didn't we? But I didn't play that game much, if I'm honest. If we're getting a big world, a way to get around it quickly is going to be needed, and if there are lots of things that you can climb up, we could well see something similar. I don't imagine it would be quite as integral to the gameplay as in Assassin's Creed, but yeah, could happen. Dave Bacon, excellent name by the way, seems to think that it may be because the open world will be slightly randomised when it comes to enemy spawning and things like that, which is possible, but I don't see why that would push it back nearly an entire year. Gerard Geezer simply thinks online co-op, which, yeah, that would be nice, but I honestly don't see it happening. Mr. B seems to think that it was all just a marketing ploy and that this whole announcement was just to drum up some extra publicity. Could have been, but I think it really was Nintendo shooting themselves in the foot if they thought that was a good idea. I mean, and maybe if it was originally announced for 2015 and they didn't already know... No, I can't see it, sorry. Sylvester seems to think that there's going to be huge bosses like in Shadow of the Colossus and you have to climb up, and that would work well with the parkour that we mentioned previously. As much as I would love that sort of gameplay, I love huge bosses, huge Monster Hunter fan for example, I don't really see it happening. It would be a bit out of place for Zelda, but I don't know, maybe they're going to throw something crazy our way. James Atwell seems to think that it was just because they didn't realise how much work this game would be. And again, yeah, I reckon that was probably part of it. As far as I know, Nintendo has never made a world quite this large before. Particularly not on this scale, particularly with the power that the Wii U has, all of the details that need to go into the graphics. It's an enormous amount of work, and maybe they just didn't plan for it. Arnold Rabindon Jr. seems to think that it's just the NX. Doesn't really say any more than that, just seems to think that the NX had something to do with it. Yeah, maybe, I suppose. Rasmus Gustafsson, I'm probably butchering that name, seems to think that Shigeru Miyamoto went into the office and said, "I like what you're doing here, but change it." And Aonuma said, "Of course, great Miyamoto-san," and scrapped the whole thing. Maybe. And finally, Matthew Smith says that he would love to see some mask gameplay, like you're thinking, but he also thinks that he'd like to see some sort of wandering merchants around. These merchants would obviously sell you some stuff, and there would be special offers and things like that, but one of these merchants is the Happy Mask Salesman, and that's where the mask gameplay comes into it. I really like that idea. I don't know whether it would actually work, but I love the idea of it, so if Nintendo can make it work, then give it to me. Right now. Not now, in 2016, because that's when it's coming out. Thanks to everyone who got in touch. Unfortunately, I can't read all of your messages, otherwise we'd be here all day. But there is a chance for you to get another one of your questions answered in the next video. And so, my question for you all this week is, which character should be DLC next in Super Smash Bros. For Wii U and 3DS? Now, there's more than just the answers that I'm looking for here, because I'm unconvinced about who I should vote for. I've got too many ideas, so I want you lot to try and convince me. Should it be maybe King K. Rool? A lot of people seem to think that. Goku? No, I'm not going to vote for Goku, sorry. Or maybe something like Waluigi, yeah, Waluigi, or Shy Guy, anything like that. You let me know who should be in it, and maybe you'll convince me. Also, if any of you want to create or find images that promote this character that you want in, then link me to them. Propaganda's fantastic, and they'll probably appear in the video if they're good enough. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, why don't you delay that subscribe button to 2016, and be sure to check out NintendoLife.com for all sorts of lovely Nintendo-related content. Thank you again for watching. Bye-bye.